Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you my entire makeup brush collection. As you probably know and as you've probably seen, I have a load of makeup brushes. This is just some of them. And so I thought that I would show them to you today and show them what I use them for, what I like about them, where they're from, how I store them all those kinds of things. So today I'll be showing you all of my makeup brushes and everything about them. If you're interested in how I clean my makeup brushes, I already have a video of that up on my channel already. I'll try and link it in the bio down below. Otherwise you can just search it up, and so I just show you in that video how I clean my makeup brushes, but today I'll just be showing you all the brushes in my collection. I'm going to do a cutaway clip where it's close up because I felt like if I showed you like brushes like this, it wouldn't be as clear. I'd have to like focus like this, and I just thought if I showed you directly in front of the camera the other way around, it would be easier for you to see each individual brush and like the details on each brush, because they look like, I don't know, it's not as easy for the camera to focus from this side. But yeah, I won't also be showing you sponges in this video just because sponges, in my opinion, most of them are disposable, and so they kind of come and go in my collection, whereas these brushes, these have been with me for years and years and years, and hopefully will be with me for years and years to come. So yeah, if you'd like to see all the brushes in my collection, then please keep on watching. Okay, so these are all of the brushes that I own. I've just laid them out on this like fluffy blanket so that I can show them to you guys. So I also wanted to show you guys how I keep my brushes. I keep my brushes in like jars or containers. So I keep all of my eye brushes in this Emily like Walk of Fame Hollywood star cup that my boyfriend bought me from his trip to America. And it has a bunch of other like random eye products or like long products in here as well, like mascaras or like other things like that. And I have some random tools in here as well, like these are the scissors that I use to trim my lashes with that you hear me use all the time, or like random like spoolies that come free with products or things like that. And I usually hang some tweezers off the side of this as well. These are lash applicator tweezers from Essence. But yeah, that's where all of my smaller eye brushes live, and then all of my larger brushes live in this like IKEA plant pot kind of thing. This is a really popular thing, like everyone on YouTube used to be like keeping their brushes in these IKEA plant pots, and so that's where I stole this idea from. And usually all of my face brushes are in here, except these are not deep cleaned. These are only cleaned with my I'll show you. I've only cleaned those guys with my Cinema Secrets brush cleanser, so I'm not going to put these in the rest of the container because I don't want to mix deep cleaned brushes with only Cinema Secrets cleaned brushes, if that makes sense, just because they're different levels of clean in my opinion. And then I also have my Bold Metals brushes from Real Techniques as well, and because these are metallic and I think look a lot more aesthetic than these mixed brushes over here, these actually live in a separate cup with all of my metallic lipsticks, and you'll have seen that if you've seen my entire makeup collection. I have a video up on my channel of my entire makeup collection if you would like to see all of my entire makeup setup and where everything like permanently lives. So yeah, I'm just going to work through them section by section. I'll get this out of the way, and we'll start off with these random brushes over here. Sorry, that's like a face washer that I was cleaning some brushes with earlier. So these are some random brushes that I have from random places, and I just wanted to take you through these first to get them out of the way. First of all, I wanted to give a shout out to random brushes that come with products. So these are obviously some brushes that come with Benefits like Hoola and Benefits. I think one of them came with like a blush from Benefit. But yeah, these come in the box blushes from Benefit, and they're just like these random brushes that I never use. And I also have a bunch of these. They come with Bourjois pot blushes, and they're just not something that I really reached for, but I have them. Another brush that I got with a makeup set, but I actually did use a lot. This is my little Too Faced contour bouquet, and this came with my Too Faced Cocoa contour kit. I used up the contour kit, but the brush of course remains, and it's really, really nice actually. It's a very cute small size compared to a full size brush. It's very, very mini, and it's very cute, and it's actually a very beautiful and soft brush. I also think it's aesthetically very pleasing with the gold, with the like pastel pink writing on it. It's just cleaned with Cinema Secrets right now, so it looks like a little bit dirty, but it is really nice, that one. And a great travel brush as well. I should throw that into my travel makeup bag. Anyway, this is a brush that it's really like this velvet. I can't clean it. Anyway, this is from Hourglass, and it is, I'm just trying to like shake it out. This is actually from I think I bought this on AliExpress when I was in high school. So it's a dupe of the Hourglass brush, but I bought this because I thought it was really like satisfying the way that the handle is. This doesn't feel very heavy, like just because this is off AliExpress. This is like very light in weight. It's very nice and fluffy though, and I actually do think it's a decent quality brush. Would I recommend purchasing it again? Probably not, just because I don't really rate like faux brushes, but I do think it's really cool and I like having it. And then a brand that I definitely do support is Mermaid Salon. They came up, I believe, with the concept of the mermaid tail brushes, and so their brush handles look like mermaid tails. They also come in these really cool like plastic protectors, so if you want to take these brushes on the go, it's really easy to keep the brush protected. I really like these brushes for like foundation, applying cream contour, really chiseling kind of looks, and they're just really great brushes. This one's in like that NARS kind of soft rubberized, can you hear that? Rubberized soft matte kind of packaging, and this one is in metallic rose gold, and you can kind of see me there. Hi. But yeah, the rose gold and the black one, and those are really nice for like cream products, face products. I wouldn't use these for eyes, you know what I mean? Like these are really like large full face product brushes. You can tell I'm like putting my hand down so you can see a size comparison. These like for big face products. I'd use this to like set the whole face, or if I wanted to do a really loose bronze all over. It's a really nice large fluffy brush. But anyway, those are all my random brushes. Let's go through what is in my eye brush container. So I also wanted to say most of my brushes are either from Real Techniques, Nude by Nature, so this is a Nude by Nature brush, or they're from Real Techniques Bold Metals collection, so this is the original Real Techniques collection, and this is the Bold Metals collection, or they're random, like this Morphe eyebrow brush that I use all the time. This is from like Morphe, which is like random in my collection because I don't have a huge Morphe collection. So I'm going to start off with the eye brushes, and then we'll go through each of these piles that I have in front of me. I'll pull out all these eye brushes and we can go through all of those. Oh my goodness, there are so many in here. Also, if you wanted a whole video on like tools that are not brushes, for example, the things that are left in here, like I have like a spatula for like applying face masks and like my lash tweezers, anything like that. If you would like a full video on like tools, I'm definitely down to do that as well if you're interested. I'm just making sure there are no more like little brushes left in there. There are brushes left in there. Let's get it out. There's like a really small like eye brush down the bottom. So this small eye brush has got fluff on it, and I believe this came with like an eyeliner I bought. Let me just get the fluff off. Yeah, this came with an eyeliner I bought. I'm sure this is like from some cream pot gel eyeliner. I rarely use this, but it is a cute little brush to have, and it's a good flat little eye brush, great for details, great for like inner corner pops of highlight, and I have used it before. I just lost it down the bottom of that cup and forgot I had it, so I should pull that out and keep it out. Next, I have this brush from Real Techniques. I actually have all the original collection of the Real Techniques brushes they released up until like maybe like 2016 or 17, and then they kind of redesigned their brushes, and I kind of stopped buying them from then because obviously I already had so many. I didn't really feel the need to buy more. This one is called the Shading Brush, and it is a kind of shorter brush with a fluffy but dense tip, and I really like this one for applying details that I want to blend on the inner corner, the brow bone. I like this for highlighting detailed areas of the face, even like brushing a little bit on my mobile lid. This is a really nice brush for that. This one is my brow brush, so it has the bristles on this end, which are kind of dirty, and then it has the metal bristles on this end, and I like to use this brush to groom my brows, obviously, because it's a brow groomer brush, so like brushing them all in the right direction or something like that. This one is a precise kind of detailer brush. What's it called on the little thing there? It's called the Fine Liner brush, and I wish the bristles of this brush would stay together more, because as you can see, they're kind of coming out a little bit. When I use this, I like to dampen this brush or get like a lot of cream product on it so that it's like all together, so that the brush kind of is a little bit more precise, because those fluffy edges a little bit not precise there. I don't rate that. So yeah, I prefer to dampen this brush so I can get the precise details that I want. This is also good to like line eyeliner, line your lips. You could do your brows at the tips or any details with this brush. I also like to use this brush mostly with concealer to clean up edges. Like if I mess up my eyeliner and I want to clean up underneath, this is a really good one for that. This one is another very precise brush. I don't know. Oh, it's called the pointed liner brush. This is great for lip liner. It's a very stiff brush, if that makes sense. Like it's quite a pointed, stiff brush. Great for lip liner. Good for eyeliners as well. Precise details. Like if I really want to make a precise application for a particular product on my eye, or if I need to clean something up, I can pop a bit of concealer on this and sweep it right away. A really good stiff brush gets the job done. Good for precise details. And this one is also quite stiff, and I use it for similar precise details. The name has rubbed off, but it's like a pointed concealer kind of brush. And yeah, again, I really like this one as a lip liner brush for pointed details, getting in my inner corners to highlight my inner corners. I love this as an inner corner brush, or to pack on like highlight on my mobile lid. It's just a really good brush, and I use this all the time. Also good for concealer, and this brush is great for spot concealing as well because it's like the perfect shape for it. This brush is stained green a little bit because I've used a lot of green and blue eyeshadows recently, but this is one of my favorite blending brushes. The name is completely rubbed off. Some of my Real Techniques brushes, the names have rubbed off just because I've had these brushes for so long and they've gone through so much, but they're still holding up really well. I gotta say, my Real Techniques brushes have been with me. Literally, they're the only brushes I've ever had, other than another set that I gave to my sister, and they've held up so well. The other set that I gave to my sister was my old Nude by Nature set, and they're still going strong to this day. But anyway, this is a kind of taller, fluffier brush, and I love this one for blending. A lot of the time I like to apply my eyeshadow with a different brush that's more dense first, just to place down the product, and then I go in with a fluffy brush with really nice loose bristles like this one, just to fluff around the product and make sure that the edges are all diffused the way that I want them to be. Let's go into this one. This is from Nude by Nature, and it is called the Crease Brush. This is a really dense, kind of circular brush, if that makes sense. Like it's not a flat brush, it's more circular, and yeah, it's quite like dense again, and it's really good to apply quite a fair bit of product really precisely in one area. Because it is so dense, it really focuses that product. I also like it for like a dense application of concealer, if that makes sense. It's a really good versatile brush, and I love it. My Nude by Nature set, by the way, was a gift from my boyfriend's parents. They gave it to me for Christmas. These ones with the clear handles all came in a set together, and they're really cool. I love them. Anyway, this next one is from Real Techniques. Again, it's kind of flatter, if that makes sense. Like it's, even though it's a fluffy brush and obviously like it's a little like looser at the top, it is denser at the bottom and it's a little bit of a flatter brush. So this is great for packing products on the outer corner or something, or even using it a little bit with a lighter hand to fluff product to blend it. I really like this one. You could use any of these brushes for concealer as well. I should probably stop saying you could use this for concealer too, because you can use any brush for concealer. You can use any brush for anything you want. You don't have to like listen to like the way I use these brushes. This is just like my brush collection, how I use each brush. But like if you wanted to use this angled brow brush that I use for brows as your lip brush, you could do that. Like it's just makeup. This is a Winky Lux brow brush that I got in my rainbow brow kit, and it's actually a really good brow brush. Obviously, this is really good for eyeliner too, but yeah, I primarily just use this for brows because I did receive it as a brow brush and it serves that purpose well. It's not too stiff it's not too stiff of a brow brush. Like it does have a bit of give, if that makes sense. So it's not too precise in that it is like drawing on your brows with like a pencil or something, if that makes sense. Like it has a bit of like a soft give. I don't know if that made any sense. This is a pointed brush, and this is called the tapered blending brush. It's kind of a pointed dense brush from Nude by Nature, and again it is stained because I've been using lots of cool toned eyeshadows recently. But yeah, it's just another really good blending brush. I like using this to create more of a precise detail that I want to diffuse a little bit. So if I wanted to make a smudgy eyeliner, this is a great brush for a smudgy eyeliner. Over here, this is another brush that came free with an eyeliner, and this has broken, but I still use it because the bristles are still good. But this is like another one of those brushes that's good as a lip brush or for eyeliner or for precise details. It's just one of those flat, dense kind of stiff brushes. It just came with like some random eyeliner. I can't even remember. This is another brow brush. I literally never use this one because I have the other one, and a lot of the brow products I have come with a spoolie, but this is just called the Lash and Brow Spoolie Brush, and this is again from Nude by Nature, from one of their Christmas kits. I really recommend Nude by Nature if you're living somewhere where you can purchase it. It's a really accessible brand here in Australia, and they have lots of kits that come out on like all times of the year, but especially holiday times, that have like a really good complete set of like brush products in them. So yeah, they're really cool. This is from a Real Techniques Duo Fiber collection, and this is the Duo Fiber eye brush. It's really fluffy and reminds me a little bit of this brush over here in that they're tall and really good for blending, and they're good fluffy brushes. So yeah, these two kind of serve similar purposes in my collection. The Duo Fiber does make it extra cool, but I don't know if you can tell, the Duo Fibers are kind of just like a separate little thing in the middle, and then the brush below is like normal, if that makes sense. Like the Duo Fibers have been bent a little bit and like damaged, so I've had this brush for a long time. It's not a Real Techniques problem. It's a I dried this with a hairdryer once problem. But yeah, this brush has been through a lot, and I actually do really like it. This is my next brush, and it's my favorite brush of all time. This is called the Base Shadow Brush from Real Techniques, and it's literally my favorite brush. If I wanted one brush to do my eye looks with forever, like bar, you know, these like kind of precise detail brush for like inner corner pobs, this is my favorite blending brush. It is just perfect. It's a really good shape. It's kind of like a circular shape. It's good for building up product. It's good for blending product. It's perfect. It's my favorite, and I can't live without it. I also have one of these at my boyfriend's house. By the way, this isn't actually all of my brushes. If you've seen my video of what's in my makeup bag at my boyfriend's house, I keep a whole makeup bag there with like brushes. It's like a full kit of everything that I can use, and I do have a couple of brushes there, including a base shadow brush because it's one of my faves. This next brush is called, the name is on it, I just can't read it. This is just called the Lip Brush, and it's another lip brush from Nude by Nature. It's just one of those stiff, taller, kind of curved, but sort of pointed, stiff brushes for details. Over here, this is my favorite brow brush that I've tried so far. This is from Morphe, and it's the M165. It's also really good for like gel liner, but I use this, as you can probably tell, for using like pomade brow products. It's a really good one and gets a lot of use in my collection. It's stiffer and flatter and like shorter bristles compared to my Winky Lux brow brush. So these two give a slightly different vibe. I do like that this one is more precise though. But then sometimes I feel like this one. They're both different moods, so they give different effects, and I can use them differently and get different looks from them. This next one is also stained because it's been overused with cool toned eyeshadow products. But sorry, I cut out of filming just because my phone that I'm filming on, ran out of space, so I just cleared up some space. Anyway, I was talking about this angled brush. I kind of find this to be the angled version of this brush here. This brush being my favorite brush, this brush being like my fave angled brush. Yeah, I feel like these serve a similar like purpose, just a really good, easy crease brush, but very versatile, build up product, blend out product, everything, love it. This is another one of those like, what are they called? Fine liner brushes, just another one of those like kind of pointed detailer brushes. These two are actually different. This one is, no, I lied. They're the same brush. This one's stiffer than this one, and this one looks like it's more like got black hair, and this one looks like it's got more of that white hair. I'm not really sure the difference. By the way, most of my brushes are synthetic. I don't believe any of them are real animal fur, and if they are, ew. I prefer synthetic brushes. I think it is better to be cruelty-free, in my opinion. So Real Techniques and Nude by Nature are both cruelty-free brands. That's why most of my brushes are from those brands. These, I believe, are cruelty-free, and yeah, if I know that a brush isn't cruelty free, I won't purchase it because that's kind of gross in my opinion. This brush here is like not a brush, it's like got a silicone tip, and it's called a silicone liner brush. I use this sometimes dipped into concealer to like really clean up edges. I've used this as an eyeliner brush before, but it wasn't my favorite. But yeah, it's kind of actually really handy to have because the silicone tip is always like pointed but not too pointy. Sometimes when I want to have like a really thick clumpy lashes but not too clumpy, I'll use this as like a little point to separate the clumps. And I don't know, just like random things I find this really helpful for. So I actually really love having this little silicone pointed thing. This one over here is a smudge brush, and I use it for just that. I use this for smudging. I also like to use this as a detailer brush, like in my inner corners if I want to build up like a little pop of highlighter in my inner corner, or pop something on the middle of my mobile lid. This is also a good brush for that. This one is like kind of a concealer brush. Oh, and it's called a concealer brush. This one is from Nude by Nature again. It's just one of those flat kind of concealer brushes. Also good for like, you know, inner corner details, stuff like that. But yeah, just another good stiff, dense, kind of circular tipped brush. And then this one, I've not got the name on it anymore, but I think it's called, oh wait, I'm going to read it. It's so hard to read. Deluxe Crease Brush. Oh my goodness, that was like the hardest thing to read. I'm like reading that really, I'm not sure if you can see that faint writing right there. Yeah, it was a challenge. Anyway, this is the Deluxe Crease Brush. I believe Real Techniques actually released a set of 4 of these now to use as concealer brushes. I could be wrong though, but it's a really like nice fluffy like circular brush, if that makes sense. It's kind of like dense at the base and fluffier at the top. You could apply concealer under your eyes with this. It's kind of like larger than a lot of like typical eye brushes. Let me get you a comparison. This is that favorite blending brush that I had earlier. You can kind of see it's like a fatter, kind of thicker brush. And yeah, it's good for lots of stuff. Let's get into some larger brushes now. I'll go through these ones that are cleaned partially using Cinema Secrets brush cleanser, which by the way has a really nice like, I don't know, like vanilla scent. I think it's really nice. I'll do a whole video actually on how I clean my makeup brushes with Cinema Secrets brush cleanser, because I've done a whole video on how I clean them with like actual soap, but I haven't done a Cinema Secrets like spot cleaning video, and I have a way that's different of how I like spot clean my brushes in between deep cleansers. Anyway, let's get this out of the way and go through it one by one. This first one is a Duo Fiber face brush. Is it called that? I'm not sure. Duo Fiber face brush, I believe. I don't know. These things have rubbed off because I've had these for literally like, or I don't know, maybe 6 years. Like I've had these for really, really a long time, maybe even 7 years. But this is just a really great Duo Fiber face brush that I use primarily for like setting the entire face with setting powder, or like powdering my face. But sometimes I use this for like bronzer as well, but not most of the time. Usually this is just a powder brush for me. If you're wondering why this has dent marks the whole way around, well, my beagle decided she wanted to chew this one day, and she didn't eat the whole brush. She just decided to chew it. So it kind of looks like her fun artwork that she left for me. So thank you very much to Brandy. That's my dog's name. This one was partially chewed as well. And this is I don't even know what this one's called because it's all rubbed off. But I use this one primarily for bronzer. I also like to use this one for blush as well. Or you can even powder with this one. It's a great kind of more stiff brush. This one's not stiff, but like it's a little bit denser. This one's fluffier. And since it's a denser brush, it's like a little bit more of a precise application compared to this one. This one over here is another one from Nude by Nature. It didn't come with the whole kit that I just showed you where everything's got clear handles. This is probably their best-selling brush in my opinion. I believe it's the number 11 brush, and when I was in high school, like everyone had this brush. It's such a like Australian classic in my opinion, in like Australian makeup kits. It's just the best mineral powder brush ever in my opinion. Really good like short handle. As you can tell, it's like a shorter brush than my other ones, and it's just like a really like, I don't know, the handle is like the perfect size. The actual bristles on this are fluffy but not too fluffy, dense but not too dense. It's just absolutely perfect for applying any powder to the face. Bronzer, loose powder, setting powder, face powder, if you want to have a whole face of like mineral foundation. Great brush, really versatile, really affordable. By the way, Nude by Nature is also a drugstore brand, so available at like Priceline or like, I don't know, other chemists, sometimes even, I'm guessing like supermarkets. I don't know. It's affordable. This is another one from Real Techniques. It's kind of a fluffier brush that I like to use for bronzer. You could also use this for powder as well, but I kind of use these for similar purposes. This is like the dense version, and this is the fluffy version in my opinion. I don't know. You can use them for whatever you want. You could also use this for blush if you wanted. Like, it's whatever. This one is another one that I like for foundation. This is called the buffing brush, and yeah, I love to put foundation on with a buffing brush. It's probably my preferred way to apply foundation. I just prefer like a buffing brush to like a flat pointed like foundation brush, if that makes sense, just because I feel like I'm able to like blur it out across the face faster, and I have less like brush hair lines through my like foundation, because I don't like streaks of like brush hairs in my foundation. So this is like really easy to just like fluff it into the skin. This one's kind of a smaller small, sorry, I'm like buffering. This is a smaller buffing brush than some of my other ones. I'll just whip out one of my favorites for comparison. Like, as you can see, this is a normal buffing brush that I usually use. This one's a little bit more precise, great for building up more intense coverage, and just an overall good brush. I can make it work. I'll tell you about this one later. This one is the number 100 from Bold Metals. Can you see me? Hi. And this is another one that I like to use for powder. Similar purpose to this one. It's just from the Bold Metals range instead. I'm kind of like erring into these brushes. This one is a pointed setting brush, I believe, or angled. Oh no, this is like an angled highlighter brush. It's an angled version of the setting brush from Real Techniques, and I really like it because it's good for highlighter, it's good for blush. It's just a great little smaller size, fluffy brush, and I use it for lots of things. It's one of my most used brushes. This one is another one from Nude by Nature, and this one is called the powder brush. I use this kind of similarly to these ones, just for bronzer or blush or like powdering the face most of the time. Most of the time I go for like bronzer or face powder with this one, just because I don't know, I prefer this shape for that. This one I use, as you can tell, for blush more. I could also use this to powder the whole face or for bronzer as well, but I've been using this obviously for blush most recently. This one is called the Angled Blush Brush. This one over here is actually one of my favorites. I think it's just called the Contour Brush, and this one is so cute. You could use this for highlight because it's kind of like a smaller size. I'll show you. Like, it's kind of almost like a smaller size, like this angled one over here that's meant for highlighter. It's a really perfect size that fits in the hollow of your cheek if you want to contour with this. Really nice to chisel out the face with. You could set like precise areas of your face with this brush as well, like just under the eye. This is a really good shape just for getting right in underneath there. I really like this brush. This one's also good for blush if you want to sweep some blush on with this. Just a great versatile brush. As you can tell, with my face brushes, I use them for like loads of things. Like, I could use this brush 1 week for powder, 1 week for bronzer, 1 week for blush. I probably wouldn't go in for highlight with this one personally, but you could, like, you know, whatever. Let's go into these ones from the Real Techniques Bold Metals collection. I find that the Real Techniques Bold Metals collection is a little bit more expensive for a reason. It's a little bit more high-end feeling than their usual normal brush line. These are a little bit lighter. These have like a weight to them. They're really beautifully made brushes, and they're quite decent weighted. The brush quality, like of the actual bristles themselves, it's really beautiful. These are really soft. These are still really soft, of course, but this is like that extra level of luxurious, and they're still like at that affordable Real Techniques price point. So I really rate these. They are still available. They're like discontinuing this line, I believe, but they're still available online, or you can get them at like chemists probably still sell these like old stock. Yeah, I bought these only last year, so they're not disappearing anytime soon, even though I don't think they're a new line or a line that they're constantly going to be restocking. I'll just take this brush out of that pile first before I get into the whole bulk of my Real Techniques Bold Metals brushes. But this one is a brush from Mecca Maxima, or Mecca Cosmetica, which is an Australian makeup store, kind of similar to Ulta, I'm guessing, although I've never been to an Ulta in my life because I've never been to America. But I use this primarily for highlighter. Actually, I think I only ever use this for highlighter. I just really like the fluffy end. I don't know, I feel like it's a good fluffy end. What am I even saying? This is like a similar kind of vibe to me as some of my other highlighter brushes, so I just like this for highlighter. You could also use this for blush, but I just always reach for it for highlighter, and I keep it with my Bold Metals brushes because it has a similar kind of look with the champagne gold handle. It's not as weighted as these. It's not as weighted as... Oh my goodness, I'm really stumbling. It's not as weighted, like it's kind of a lighter brush compared to the weight of the Real Techniques Bold Metals brushes, but a similar kind of style and aesthetic, so I keep them together, and I really like that one. Okay. Getting into these ones here, I'll go through the eye ones. So with Real Techniques, as you might have noticed, they have different colors, and the different colors mean different things. So purple is supposed to be like their eye brush color, but some of their brushes that are eye brushes are different colors. Like this one is white, but it has purple writing because it's still an eye brush, but it was from the Duo Fiber collection. And then some of these that are metallic are from like special limited edition collections. So like the orange is like their normal color for face brushes. But I think this one used to have orange writing. There we go. But it's silver because it's from like a special collection, and this one was from a special collection, but I'm sure it used to have pink writing on it or something like that. This one is obviously from their pink range, but it's metallic because it was from a special like contouring kit or something like that. But yeah. Their eye brushes in the Bold Metals range are silver. The like finishing brushes are rose gold or like pink metallic, and then the gold ones are like the face brushes. So the eye brushes, I have all of them. I better get this one out of here so that it's in the set, but this one's dirty right now with like, I don't know, it's only partially clean. So this is the number 202. It's a pointed, like angled brush, really great. I don't really use this for brows as much as like my other angled brow brushes. I use this more for eyeliner or for cleaning up. This one's really good. Just a little dab of concealer on the end really gets in any areas that I want to perfect so I can create a sharp wing on my eyeliner if I ever mess it up. This one is, again, kind of similar to, wait, let me just find this brush over here. I kind of use these two for similar purposes, just for fluffing around the eyes, kind of diffusing color once I've already placed it down with a more dense brush like this one. This brush, by the way, is the number 203. And then this one over here is one of those denser brushes that I use to pack on color, kind of similar to this brush over here. They kind of are the counterparts of each other. And this one is the number 200, and it's just like a denser, but still fluffy kind of packing brush in my opinion. This one is more of a dome kind of shaped brush. It's a little bit denser. It's not as loose and fluffy at the end. And I again like to use this to kind of place down products rather than to blend it out. But I could do like a smoky liner with this and use it to smudge out any more intense color that I pop down as well. And this one, by the way, is the number 201 brush. Going into these two, I have the 300, which I use for blush. You could also use this for highlight, but I always reach for this for blush. And then this one is the 301, and I use this primarily for concealer. You can also use it for foundation or to sculpt, like cream contour would be really nice with this one. It's a really dense, flat kind of buffing brush, and I primarily use it for primer, liquid foundation, cream contour, that kind of stuff. So kind of more creamier products. Over here, I've already told you about this one, the number 100, just a loose, fluffy face brush. I kind of used this one over here, the 103, in a similar way. So these two are very similar. This one's just larger and angled, and this one is more of a dome shape. But again, this is just a really fluffy, large angled brush. Great to just pop over the whole face, and you can tell it's a really large brush, like compared to the size of my hand. This like is a huge brush. These two are pointed foundation brushes. Actually, this one's a pointed foundation brush, and this is the pointed concealer brush. The concealer brush is the number 102, and the foundation brush is the number 101. They're both like the same. This one's just a larger version of this one, but as you might have noticed, I prefer where is it, like a buffing kind of brush, more like where is it? More like this, like a dense buffing brush to apply my foundation rather than painting it on with a flat brush. I do use these a lot. I just don't use these as much as I would prefer to use a buffing brush. So I reach for these less than the buffing brushes, but I still do use them, and I do like them for what they are. The pointed detail on these brushes means you can get into like any areas around the face, you know, around the nose, any details, and this is really good to like get into the side of the nose or around the eyes, or get really precise concealer areas in, and then you can just like blend it out. Really cleverly designed. I really like the triangle aspect of these pointed foundation brushes and concealer brush. Yeah, I really like these. Okay, this is the final bucket, the huge bucket of face brushes. So I'll get rid of all of these guys out of the way, and we'll get into this giant face bucket. There is so much in here. I better take out this one first. This is the Hoola brush from Benefit, and this came when they released like a load of different Hoola products. This was one of the products that came out when they had like cream Hoola, like dewy liquid Hoola, different shades of bronzer Hoola, like powder bronzer Hoola. They came out with Hoola the brush, and so this is Hoola the brush that's meant to complement the bronzers that they came out with. And I really like this as a taller bronzer brush. It's better for like fluffing out kind of more of a diffused bronzer look, so I really like that. And I use this brush very similarly. This is called a blush brush. Sometimes I do use it for blush, but mostly I use this again for bronzer, just fluffing it out over the face. This is really large in my opinion for a blush brush. I typically reach for brushes more like this size for blush, so this seems quite large to me in comparison to the other two that I would typically reach for. So yeah, this is more of a bronzer brush to me, and these two brushes here are actually very similar in like shape and size. So yeah, I use those two very similarly. This one is really munted. As you can tell, the bristles have kind of like bent into the ferrule of the handle of this brush, and it's really, this brush has been through way too much. I probably left it in water for too long or something ridiculous, but this is like a cream contour brush to me. I can't remember what it was originally called, and the writing has rubbed off of it, and you can see dents on it from where I've probably gone and like banged it against stuff. But yeah, this brush I use for cream contour. Sometimes I use it for powder contour. Sometimes I use this to buff out foundation because it's kind of like a flat, dense buffing brush to me. So yeah, this one I kind of use similarly to this brush here. Even though they're different angles, like this one's an angled version and this one's a flat version, they're kind of both that dense, flat, short kind of bristled brush that I use similarly. These ones over here are some foundation brushes that are kind of more buffing brushes. I feel like this is called the Expert Face Brush. I could be wrong, don't quote me on that, but I like to buff out foundation with this. It's probably one of my favorite foundation brushes. Just the perfect size of brush to buff out foundation with. This one is similar but a little bit flatter, if that makes sense. Like this one is more circular, this one's a little bit smaller, oval, denser, and a little bit shorter, if you can tell, but I also use it for a similar purpose. I also like to use this kind of similarly to this one in that I like to apply cream contour products with this, like also sculpting with this, chiseling out the face, and I could apply primer with this as well because I do like applying primer with kind of like a denser brush. The relationship that these two brushes have with each other kind of reminds me of, and I know this is going to be really random, but these two eye brushes. See these two eye brushes, this one's a flat one and this one's the curved one. I kind of think of this one as the curved one and this one as the smaller flat one, if that makes any sense. I don't know, they're just the dynamics of the brushes. They're the brushes' relationships. Here are a bunch of flat kind of foundation pointed brushes. As you can tell, I used to prefer using these kind of pointed brushes, like the flatter kind of paintbrush style ones to apply foundation, but I typically go for the buffing style ones now. But these again are similar to those ones that I showed you previously from the Real Techniques range, like these ones, and I use these also to apply foundation. These two are more appropriate for concealer. This one is called the pointed foundation brush, but yeah, I used to use this so much. This was one of my favorite brushes back in the day, and it is still one of my favorites, but I typically reach for this one more. But this is also a good size for concealer as well because it's not a large brush, like it's not too big to get into the smaller detailed areas of the face. And this one is called the concealer brush. It's actually a very similar size, if you can tell, but this one is angled. So this one's more pointed, this one's more angled. Again, I could apply foundation with this. It's a little bit stiffer than this brush in my opinion. I don't know, they're both pretty stiff, but this one's a little bit stiffer in my opinion, and it's a little bit better for concealer, but I use them both for concealer or foundation, whatever I feel like. This one is kind of a larger version of this brush over here. This is a larger version of this brush, and this one is called the foundation brush again, but this one is angled. Very similar brushes. This one is just a larger version, and then this brush over here has no name on it, but I kind of consider it a larger version of this brush over here because they're kind of like the mummy and daddy. So this is like the smaller one, this is the larger one, kind of similar style of brush with the stiff, flat kind of bristles for foundation or concealer. You know, this I would probably use for foundation, but you could use this for concealer too. Like this isn't, there's no rules. You could also like do cream contour with these more stiff brushes. I kind of like that. This one is a more circular version. It's similar to this brush in that it's like that flat kind of stiff foundation brush style. Does it have a name on it? It's called the tapered foundation brush, but it's kind of a little bit more shorter, if that makes sense. Like, as you can tell, it's a little bit shorter and wider. It's also denser. This one's a little bit fluffier in comparison. Not fluffier, but like it's a little bit more malleable, whereas this one, it's quite dense and it's quite stiff of a brush. But yeah, again, similar purpose, and same with this one. This is the one from Nude by Nature, and it is called the liquid foundation brush, and again, this is great for liquid foundation, similar style as these guys over here, just another one of those kind of curved, pointed, flat foundation brushes. Okay, working over here, we have some more face brushes. This one is probably my largest brush. This one and this one are both really similar purpose, just giant fluffy foundation brushes. Not foundation brushes, powder brushes. This one over here is the curved flat version of what this one is angled. This one's like got a slight angle on it going upwards, as you can tell, and this one is very similar in size, shape, purpose, and everything. I use it for exactly the same kind of stuff, except this one is just completely domed. So yeah, love that. And then these are similar to ones I've shown you previously as well. So this one is actually identical to that one that I showed you that my dog ate. It's called the Geofiber face brush, and yeah, they're actually the exact same brush. I have two of them because they're from two different kids. This one just hasn't been eaten by my dog. And then this one, I think I've shown you a previous one. I think, no, I don't think they're the same. I use this one for bronzer, blush, highlight. Again, it's one of those ones that's kind of similar to these guys for me. These guys are kind of all in the same family of just like a multitasking kind of face brush. One of them might even be called the multitasking face brush. This one here is a fan brush, and it is called the fan brush. And yeah, it's just great for highlighter. I like to also sweep away any fallout from underneath my eyes using this brush because it's good for, like, you know, cleaning up any messes that I've made, just really gently sweeping it away. It's kind of got a Geofiber brush tip, so it's really delicate, and you can also build it up, of course. And also I like to use this to set specific areas. So pretend I want to put setting powder on the face. I can like pack it on a little bit more gently using this brush, and then use the sweeping motion like with the fan to like brush off any excess setting powder if I'm like baking or something. So that's another purpose I like to use this brush for. And this brush over here is called the setting brush. I actually have many of these in my makeup collection. One of these lives in my on-the-go makeup bag, which I'll show you in a second, and one of these lives at my boyfriend's house. Just a really classic brush for either setting under the eyes, blush, highlight, and the thing is really versatile. This one's metallic because it came with the same collection as this one, and even though these two are called different things, this one's called an angled highlighter brush, I believe. I think of these as like very similar purpose. They're kind of the same size and like quite similar shapes. This one's just angled and this one is just like a dome shape. So I find these two to be very similar in purpose. I also have some makeup brushes, as I mentioned, in my makeup bag. So these are the brushes that live in my makeup bag and come with me to go everywhere. So again, I have one of these little setting brushes. This is exactly the same as this one over here. This one just had the little handle fall off the bottom, and this is the only brush I've had from Real Techniques where the handle has fallen off, but it actually worked out being for the best because it meant that this became a more travel friendly size because it was missing the thing down the bottom there. So I throw this now into my little sports girl bag that Amelia gave me. Thanks, Amelia. And I take this as my to-go brush. I also have this little kabuki brush from Real Techniques, and this one is really cool. It's called the Kabuki, and it's an angled kabuki brush that actually is metallic, so it can snap open and you can actually contour or like powder a larger area, and then you can like snap it closed again and then use that as a normal kabuki. It's just a really cool versatile brush. It's also great for cleaning because when you open it up you can like really get in there and like clean inside better. But yeah, love this, and the magnetic function is really cool. And then these three over here came as a little set together. So you have the mini foundation brush, which is a mini version of this brush over here, really cute. Actually, it's probably a mini version of this one. Oh, it's the baby. And then this one is called the mini face brush. So it's kind of a fluffier brush. I kind of like to think of it as the mini version of like one of these brushes that I have. And then this one is called the mini shading brush. So it's a mini eyeshadow brush. And these all live, these five, in this little bag together. And this is how I do my makeup on the go. But yeah, those were all the brushes that I keep at my house and in my little makeup bag to go. There's a random little Panadol or something in there. But yeah, I also have some brushes that live at my boyfriend's house. So if you want to see what's at my boyfriend's house in my makeup kit that I keep there, then I have a video of what's in my makeup bag at his house up on my channel already if you would like to check that out. And yeah, that was my entire brush collection. Thank you so much for watching. If you're interested in the makeup look I'm wearing on my face right now, it's a simple warm toned smoky eye with a pop of blue eyeliner underneath. It's like a little smoky pop of blue. Sorry, I'm just like attaching not attaching, adjusting my lash here. Anyway, if you want to see how I did this look, I've already posted it up on my channel. If you'd like to check it out and see how I did it, or just want to see more content from me, like this video if you enjoyed it at any point through the video. Subscribe if you'd like to see more content from me. I'm uploading all the time. You can leave me any comments of what you would like to see from me next down below, and hopefully I'll see you in a future video soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Bye!